Hi, Jeremy Boone here. In today's case study, I want to take a look at a recent volleyball player. This young lady is actually one of the top volleyball players in the country in her position. And there's a lot of expectations on her in terms of being a good leader coming up to this fall season. She's been in this program for a couple of years, and she even puts a lot of pressure on herself. As we can see here on a ready-to-play profile that she just recently completed, we've got a couple of yellow areas that are going on. She did very well in game intelligence. She did very well in team player. She values her team tremendously, even to the exclusion of herself. Take a look at mental toughness. We're struggling a little bit in mental toughness. We want to explore some of that. Self-discipline, that kind of goes along with mental toughness. These are some areas that we would immediately want to address with her about what's going on in our review. Coachability, obviously extremely coachable. She respects her coaches and can make adjustments, when we're working with her. Self-motivation. This actually is probably a little bit higher than reflects here, but nonetheless, we still know something's going on with this young lady to be in her position, but yet show this type of profile. Self-confidence, the same thing. A lot of these inner-directed qualities are probably not as high as she would like for them to be. Self-awareness and personal accountability, she's moderate here. So not a lot of clarity. Her ability to focus, and that's just not internally, but internally and externally during play, is actually very well. She scores high, and we would expect that from a top-ranked player. Competitive fire, again, ties in with self-motivation, self-discipline, self-confidence. All these are really scores that indicate that something's going on with this young lady, even though her teammates and her coaches always see her bring her A game, or what they appear is to be her A game. So let's take a look at her sample statements, because this will really begin to give us more insight into what's going on. And as you've seen in a past video on the mechanics of the ready-to-play profile, part 1 here, her statements actually, she does a pretty good job. She keeps the positive statements positive, the negative ones negative, ranking them from number 1 being best to number 18 being worst. And there's nothing that really jumps out to us when we're looking at them. Her number 1 best statement was love for the game, a successful game plan. Number 18 was viciously hurting a teammate. Being on a championship team is obviously very important to her. So that's her external. But let's take a look at internally, and this is where we start to get clarity and start having some fuel to be able to go and sit down and talk and review with her what's going on. Internally, we rank the statements of number 1 being most agree with, number 2 being number 18 being least agree with. And so we've got some distortions here, which are negative statements to get ranked as positive. And look what she ranked as number 4, the statement she 4th most agreed with: I am often preoccupied with past mistakes. Number 6, no matter how hard I try, it's never enough. Number 8, my performance doesn't live up to expectations. These 3 right here are huge distortions, and so she's obviously feeling a lot of pressure she's putting on herself, expects a lot of herself, doesn't want her teammates to really know that she struggles because she values team play so high. And we even know that by, let's look at what her number 1 is. My team knows they can count on me. So she really highly values team and doesn't want to let them down. Look what she ranked as number 17, which would be the second to bottom, the statement that she least agree with, which is the more I understand my sport, the better I get in my position. So typically we would consider this as this player really doesn't want to reveal what's going on inside, but we've had an opportunity to actually do the review of this player, and these actually are reflective of what's going on and what she's feeling. So now we've got some information with this type of ready-to-play profile. We can sit down with the player and use this statement as a catalyst to start talking about what's going on. Why did you rank this as number 6, as number 4? And the intention is not to be as good or bad what her results were, but what was her thought process in doing that. And reflect that back to some of her scores here, and let her see why some of these scores then might not be as high as she would like for them to be. And the results with this young lady were really tremendous. We had a couple of aha moments. We worked through some of her concerns for herself and expectations, and she actually had, because of some of the expectations from her coach and wanting her to be a leader and communicate, she really wasn't sure how to do that. The coach had no idea, and the coach was wanting her to yell at her teammates more. So he's asking her to do something negative towards what she values most, which is her team. And we're seeing more and more of this coaching disconnect pattern with her players. So this is a third benefit of having players take the ready to play profile. So in the end, we kind of gave her a couple of suggestions. Number one, how to handle mistakes, go through some simple player journaling, but most importantly, some suggestions on how she can be an effective communicator to her team and feel more comfortable then in her role, which lets her then become more self-confident. She's willing to work hard now and be more mentally tough because all of those factors come in together. So there's a short example today on an elite volleyball player. And on the outside looks great, on the inside she's struggling. And this is a catalyst to serve to help her improve her performance and help her find more fun in the game that she first started to play back when she was in 6th grade. If you haven't had an opportunity, certainly hope that you'll check out the Ready to Play profile and just go to www.intertactics.com.